Although weeping lasted all night, I know that joy comes in the morning light. So I march on to a new song, 'cause I've been marching to that old one way too long. And I gotta move on and take new steps every day, 'cause I know there is got to be another way. And a brighter day, so I march on. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to P.U.R.E Live. It is Friday night. It is 9 p.m., and you are where you're supposed to be, right here. All right, so all of you guys that have watched the show before, you know what we do. We start off with our sponsors. So, a word from our sponsors.
In a recent service, Pastor Dan asked if anyone felt disconnected, not apart, all by yourself, alone, or on your own. Realizing that every day, too many people in our community and even in our churches feel disconnected. In our CFC Life Group, we want to let people know that they belong. That's the most important reasons that we have life groups. And now we've added an online community access. With social media fellowship, we consider that connecting people can be messy. Sometimes we have real challenges such as schedule conflicts, transportation, and mobility issues, as well as just feeling too tired to travel. We purposefully schedule our life group sessions to explore life application of the message with a discussion among friends. This online life group is hosted by Drs. Aaron and Margaret Jamal, who truly enjoy exploring life in God's Word. So we invite you to belong. Join the newly launched CFC online life group today.
All right. So, as she said, join today. They're actually very entertaining. I have been in on their meetings. For those of you that don't know why I'm not looking directly in the camera all the time, it's because I'm managing all of this myself. So I'm paying attention to the comments and all of that. So if you leave a comment, if you have a question, I will see it and post it. So for the next sponsor, we have Posh Women's Apparel. I've had people ask me some of the outfits, where did I get them from? Well, most of the gear that I wear comes from this lady right here, Posh Women's Apparel. You go to poshwomensapparel.com and you can get all of the lovely gear that you see me in, and some of these and some others. Also, for those of you that haven't caught the previous shows, there is Elijah Jamal, who has recently put out It's Not Okay. If you guys want to get this song, it is available in all digital platforms.
Today I'm not okay. Another mother's child is gone. Now she'll never see them graduate. I'm worn down from this hate. God, if you're listening, I could really use your help today. Now normally I'd say I'm fine and just put on a smile, but I'm in so much pain. I'm looking for the sun to shine, but in these cloudy skies, all I see is rain. I'm not okay, I'm not alright. If I had a tear for every sister's loss, I wouldn't stop crying. No, today.
All right, so if you guys want to get that, again, it's available on every digital platform there is. Now let's get into it. So today we have the wonderful, fabulous Alexis with us today.
Hey.
We have Joshua Jamal. Yes,
Hello.
very charismatic. All right, and today we are talking about battling with stereotypes. Now, why on earth would I want to speak about battling with stereotypes? So I'm going to show you guys this just to show that I got it from somewhere because I know you can't read this. So you see this? Yeah, Wells one. Okay. So this this table I thought was very interesting, very entertaining because this particular thing showed um a breakdown of
Oh,
the
oh,
percentages that they thought were like hard or lazy. And this is depending on the race, which I'm like, really? So we got hardworking or lazy, we got not violent, prone or violent prone, intelligent or unintelligent, healthy or
right.
unhealthy habits. Uh, so the fact that there is this data out there and that somebody was asked about this, I think is hilarious. Um, I don't even really see a point sharing this because it's dumb. I mean, the if you compare the statistics, just dealing with the hardworking or lazy. So, in regards to the lazy part, so check this out, right? So if you're white, you're only 4.3%, but you jump over to that African American, and how did it jump to 23.99? Uh
I'm sorry, 93 point who?
based on who exactly?
Okay, all right.
99 from low, Hello from there. Hey Roger, how are you? Nice to see you. I don't think you've commented on the show before. All right. So let's dig into it. First of all, I want to know. I want. Okay, let me get myself together
It's
because
gonna
I'm
be
like the audacity.
it's gonna be
Let's
one
deal with
of
the
those nights.
definition of stereotype. Yeah. Let's deal with the definition. Stereotype: a widely held but fixed and oversimplified image or idea of a particular type of person or thing.
Hmm.
That's what
Mhm.
a stereotype is. Okay.
Mhm.
So let's start with Miss K Alexis. What are some of the what are some of the stereotypes that you feel you have dealt with?
Angry black woman. Angry
Hmm.
black. That's probably the main one I deal with because I am someone who, if you know me, you know, I have a voice that carries, so I'm going to be louder than others. And I tend to get pretty
Okay.
passionate about things. People tend to associate that with just being angry all the time. And I could be totally fine, but because it's something that I'm passionate about, I'm more animated. And I never get the benefit of the doubt of just being someone that's passionate and animated about what they're talking about. I'm always told that I am overreacting. I'm angry. I need to calm down, or the favorite, hold on, sister, it's not what you think. It it gets old. It gets old really, really, really fast.
Ugh. Okay. Okay. And we're going to get into the why. I'm going to come back to you. Joshua, does any of that sound familiar? Do you have any things that you feel like you've fallen into the characteristics of the stereotypical situation?
Well, where do I start?
Oh.
Um,
See? Not just me.
uh, I mean, that's from, I would say, from before I could say my alphabets to now. I was held under a stereotypical aspect. Going back there, doctors made professional stereotypical equations indicating that I couldn't follow a two-part command. I wouldn't graduate high school. Um, And lo and behold, now I play chess, I play football, went into the military, I graduated with a 3.5. So, just it's just yeah. And that's not the end of it, but that's just one of the things I mentioned.
He said, "That's
Yeah.
not all." He said, "You don't know my life." And for
I
all of
feel
the ones that are watching and listening, please feel free to comment, ask your questions, contribute, because we want this to be an all-around conversation. So, okay, with the whole angry Black woman situation, do you feel that if your physical appearance was different, that you would be labeled that way, even with the same character that you have?
yes, yes, and I don't know
Okay.
what feathers I'm going to ruffle by this statement. However, anyone who knows me and has seen me in real life knows I am not a little woman. I am 5'8". I am thicker than thick is thick. Is thick is thick. And I am a very chocolate woman. Very chocolate.
Okay.
Okay. I
Yes.
do believe that if my complexion was of a different tone, if my stature was a little different, if I was a little bit shorter, people would not feel as threatened. And I really
Hmm.
don't like to use that word, but it's the one that I could think of at this moment in time that fits. I feel like people wouldn't be so quick to go to angry Black woman whenever I am passionate about something if I did look different. I
Hmm.
really do feel that physical appearance plays a part in it. I mean, look, I chocolate as hell with curly hair, all natural, all the way to Africa on top of my head right now as we speak. It's the society that we live in. It sucks. It sucks.
Yeah.
But for some people, if you're the lighter you are, the straighter your hair is, the more dainty your stature as a woman, the less people perceive you to be a threat. I don't like that.
Hmm. I feel
I
like you're
do not like
disturbing me.
her.
I
I wouldn't
paraphrase
necessarily say
how
describing you. How However, if we were standing side by side and we both yelled, they'd probably look at me first. Just
hashtag
saying.
facts. So Joshua, in dealing with the stereotypes that you said you were dealing with, what components do you think were factors in making the statements that they made about you? What was the stereotype that they were looking at?
Statistical beliefs. They're
Of
going
what?
off of uh from I guess academic and maybe medical statistics from what they perceive as defects that will prohibit me from being able to excel in high school or in just cognitive development as a whole, you know. And so it's just, you know, it's it's just their perspectives. It's their perspectives and their beliefs, and apparently they were wrong. So it's just as good as that.
Mhm.
So what is it about you that made them assume that you were less than what you actually are?
I don't know. Maybe because I was a black man. You know, um, black men have this unfortunate um, statistical character that doesn't that doesn't resemble one of intellect or brilliance, um, generally, and like
Mm.
even to this very day, you know, if you weren't seeing me in a camera setting, 80 to 90% of the time, people would perceive I was white. Um, don't know where they got that from,
So let's think.
but
Mhm.
but because I'm articulate, um, and I I and I use words that's not common, at least for a black man, I guess. Um, they perceive me as different than my own race, and it's shocking and strange. But unfortunately, if I happen to overly use slang and um, thug life talk or whatever the case may
Mhm.
be, or use broken English, I would say they would then believe, oh, that's a black guy. It doesn't compute to me to assume that because of my race, I'm not capable of articulating in a various form, if you will, or even command the English dialogue to where I don't have to subject myself to the slang terminology.
Hmm. So, and I do this when I have relatives on the show. Um, just in case you ain't noticed, this is my brother. We are related. So I get to say certain things that others people, don't worry, I won't embarrass you.
Thank you.
Um, you're welcome. Anytime. Almost. But let me say this. So let's go with the whole mindset of stereotype. Let's
Hmm.
look at what we have on the screen here. Okay.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Joshua,
Okay.
you do not match the stereotype of the average black male, statistically speaking, just by your mere appearance.
I know.
So, bro has on a vest and a tie and a dress shirt on the show. So, just in case you guys were wondering, does he normally do this? Yes, he does. He actually lived with me for a little while, and more than not, I saw him walk out in a suit and tie. Yes, I
Mhm.
did. This is how he is. So, what does it mean? Does it
um,
does that mean that he is behaving white, or is he just being Joshua?
like I was still doing that even where I'm at now, which is in Phoenix, which
Mm.
my wife had to get on me on. There's been several times where I was at a convenience store and I was dressing in this apparel, and people thought I was a supervisor or an executive coming to coming to the place. He's like, is he one of our bosses or something coming here or something? Yeah, I've
Hmm.
always gotten that, or they thought I was an official at the store because of my apparel. Um, but it's just how I dressed. And if anybody was wondering where did I get the idea or the desire to do that, um, primarily it's from me watching my dad. But outside of that, it was from admiring various dress codes that I liked myself, such
Mhm.
as you can judge me if you want to, but Scarface and Godfather. Those are my prime examples of no, not the rapper Scarface, but the Italian Scarface. Uh, um,
Okay.
but but the
He's not
mafia or
Italian, actually. But yes, I know.
The Italian or how they dressed with the suit and tie
Godfather?
and hat. Yeah, Godfather.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
I fell in love with that. I
Right.
fell in love
The
with
sugar
that
daddy.
dress and that apparel. Um, and I roll with it. I roll with it ever since.
Yeah.
Um, it did change. It did change dramatically when I came out to Phoenix because I just the temperature just didn't agree with me there. Um, but
The heat was like,
but
no.
no, you're not wearing a three-piece suit today, sir. No, you better find something else. So I actually went from dressy to tactical. Um,
Okay.
um, and which is something I can live with, But I don't even like wearing tactical. I like dressing like this, but I'm limited because of my environment. So,
Yes, I understand. I want to roll it back a little bit. So there was a comment. It just wasn't the time. So please understand, people. I am a host. So as a host, I got to make sure it flows nicely. So if I don't respond to your comment right away, it's not because I didn't see it. So says there's a difference between speaking passionately and just not knowing how to talk to people. So Cheyenne, I completely agree with you.
Yep.
Now, in dealing with the topic of the show, there's an assumption, though, that certain groups of people don't know how to talk to people without us even speaking. So, for
Mhm.
example, as Kay was saying, just her mere appearance, the fact that her voice carries, would give the assumption that she's, oh my gosh, you may not want to mess with that one because she will probably mess you up, that kind of thing.
I mean, that's
Um,
true, but still, it's true, but still.
but the bottom line is, you know, they don't know that they can have an articulate conversation with you. They may not recognize how educated you are, how eloquent you can be, just
Mhm.
because you are tall in stature, chocolate in skin complexion, and you know your
That
voice
is true.
carries. Like my mother's, for example, she's not tall in stature, but her voice carries. And when
Carries.
I say it carries, she can talk to you in the house and somebody hear her down the block.
Yeah.
Carries.
Oh,
Okay. Um, she
okay.
says she's 5'4", and because I love her, I will just allow her to say so. Um, but fact of the matter is, she's not tall in stature, but because of how passionate she is, like you said, Kay, and that her
Mm-hmm.
voice carries, people misread how she is, and she is also, a little milk chocolate. I'll say milk chocolate. She's not quite as dark as you, but she's milk chocolate. Um, and so there's an assumption. So here's on the flip side. I'm the host of the show, right? My own little brother, and I'm not talking about this one that's on the show. When we were younger, literally thought I was a white girl. Um, my daughter, my own daughter, thought I was white and questioned me on it. She said, "Mom, why are you white and I'm not?"
Oh God.
And I said, "So I'm not white. That's the thing." Um, she said, "But you look and sound like you are." I was like,
Oh.
So let's attack what that means. What are they saying? We're gonna cross another threshold here. Don't you just love it when people say, "Oh, you speak so well"?
Mm.
Yeah.
So is that what they mean when they say you sound white?
Yep.
And please believe me, you guys, while we're dealing with this show, it's 9:23. We halfway through. We're going to deal with several stereotypes here. We haven't even
Oh
began
yeah.
to scratch the surface.
Oh,
So we're going
definitely not.
to this one right now. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. So yes, breathe, exhale. Hallelujah.
Whew.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So with the whole, you speak so well.
Mhm.
Why do you think it is that they take it there? What are they expecting to come out of your mouth for them to address the fact that you speak eloquently?
I think
Let's start.
that a lot of people.
Hold on. Let me start with Kay because I know what kind of breakdown you're going to give. We're going to let you do it last. Go ahead, Kay.
Um. Let me compose myself because I really hate this stereotype with a passion.
Yeah. Okay,
Um.
Corey, I agree with you.
If I'm going to attempt to apply some type of historical context, and please forgive me, historians, for whatever I get wrong. I honestly think that this particular stereotype goes back as far as the 1950 movie Birth of a Nation, before the movies even had sound, in which Black people were depicted as just ignorant savages, the worst of the worst. Could could not speak properly,
Yeah.
could not behave properly. They just were uncivilized and as such deemed not even to be human. I hate to say it, but some parts of that extremely racist stereotype and context survived throughout the years. It just evolved to be not as savage of a stereotype. They still think that if you are of a certain ethnicity, a certain creed, come from a certain background, that you're still uneducated. they still believe that because you grew up in the projects, you can't pronounce your E's, your R's, your S's, and your T's correctly. So when you
Mm.
do walk into an environment where there is, let's say, a mixed crowd, and you are able to carry yourself and enunciate and pronunciate and speak clearly and make sure that you are understood by the entire crowd, there are some individuals that will genuinely be shocked and will give you the completely backhanded compliment of, you speak so well. To which I always want to respond, well, I paid to go to college. What the hell did you think I was going to sound like? However, I was raised by a God fearing woman, and she
Mhm.
taught me not to show my whole behind in public. So I just politely nod and say, well, I would certainly hope so. I went to college and just leave it at that.
Mhm.
Sorry, if you can tell, that particular stereotype irks me just a tad, just a little
Mhm.
bit,
Yeah.
just
All
a little
right, go
bit.
ahead, Joshua. You said that you had a response. Go ahead.
I think she said it.
Oh,
I got nothing
okay.
to say there. But
Okay.
but it's as she said. It's like people have this barbaric and brutal aspect of the Black African American community, and it's unfortunate. And it's I it's comical at best, but it's unfortunate. It's because the same people that are surprised at the capabilities of speaking in a certain way are also the same people who struggle with utilizing or mastering the same dialect. And it's like, I don't mean to sound racist here. Um, some Caucasians that are country, you'll find that their way of articulating words and pronunciation are not up to par when it comes to how the English dialogue is supposed to be used, and they will still say those slanderous comments like, "Oh, you talk really proper," or something of the like, but it's like they're not even talking proper now. It's strange to me. It's
Mm.
strange how people would actually take it upon themselves to talk to address that as if it's not the norm or if it's an abnormality for our race. And it's like it's and going with I'm gonna piggyback what she said. It's not just her being going to college. College is the evidence of her intelligence and how smart or intellectual she is. So it's just her being intellectually sound as a whole that she's able to articulate the way she can, you know. So
Yeah. I'm sorry. That was in
Well
response to
said.
the comments that I fully support you, Mama.
I do
I'm about to
too.
say, I'm
I
about to say, I'm
do.
not, she laughing at me. I'm not surprised, but it's okay.
I fully support Ebonics. I fully support regional Ebonics because Ebonics does not sound the same across the United States. I support it. I just do not like the fact that people look at you as a Black person and automatically assume that you are unable to speak proper English. I do not appreciate that. Like
Right.
what gave you that impression?
Right. Good
The
job,
Right.
fact
Diane.
that I have dark skin and nappy hair and it's not even nappy, it's just curly.
Mm-hmm.
I have an
Right.
issue with that.
Like I
Yep.
actually can comb through this beautiful curly fro of mine. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so we're gonna switch
Okay.
up a little
Oh,
bit.
the
I see a lot of comments
comments are
coming
getting
in.
lively.
I know.
Mm-hmm.
I I know. We preaching the gospel today. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna switch it a little bit and and change it to gender.
Okay.
So
Oh shoot.
okay.
Oh shoot.
so stereotypes with gender. Now, here is first of all, let me just say it is amazing that we now have President-elect Joe Biden have for his vice president a woman of color. Just like the full package. It was like, thank you, right? But there are so many organizations and so many corporations that will allow women to um, reach certain levels and then stop them. That's what we call that, the glass ceilings. Like we can see it, but we can't quite reach it. And then when we get to certain positions, the women are not paid as much as men are. So statistically speaking, women, and some organizations, the gap is not as wide. So I will not say this is for every organization. Please hear me when I say this. But in many organizations, the gap in the wages for men versus women can be anywhere from 50% to 75% in regards to what it is today, in regards to penny on the dollar. So, we're making 50% for your every dollar. And that's now. Because before that, and when I say before that, I'm not talking about a long time ago. We're talking like less than a decade ago. We were like 25 cents to your dollar. So, what message was that sending? Were they saying that women were not capable, or that we were not smart enough, or what do you think that they were saying? Let's see, Josh was the last one to speak. Go ahead, Kay. What do you think they were saying and saying we're not going to pay you as much?
I am actually going to go back to a conversation that I remember having with someone that I met out in the social media streets. And they said something that I wholeheartedly did not agree with, but I could see how that could happen. They said that women are paid less because no, let me take that back. They say that women are paid less, and particularly younger women who are in their childbearing years are paid less because it is an assumption that the woman at some point in time throughout her career will get pregnant and will step away from the workforce. And so that is productivity that is lost. And the owner or whoever is paying the individual makes up for that by paying them less because now they have to replace that woman or just go without while she is out on maternity leave. And that the actual wage gap will catch up to a woman's wage gap will catch up to men once she exits those childbearing years. That is something that was told to me. I wholeheartedly disagree with that. But with what they said, I can see how a business owner would apply that logic when they're setting the wage of a woman that is an employee and in her childbearing years. I do not agree with it. I honestly don't even think it's that complex. I think it just stems back to the times where women weren't even working in the first place. And if they did, it was usually frowned upon because why is your husband not earning enough for you to stay at home? So we really don't want you out here working anyway. You're taking a man's job, so we're just going to pay you less because we really don't want you here anyway. That's what I think. But I do think that I felt that I should at least share what a man told me. A man that I did not know, that I just so happened to be in that conversation with. So maybe there's a different perspective and maybe someone is thinking like that. I just think they just don't want us working in the first place.
Interesting. I do have a statement on this, but I want Joshua to go ahead and give his perspective.
She touched on what I was going to say. It's an old principle. I believe it's an old principle that was sound for you know men and stuff back in the day, and I think it's still an ongoing trend that just hasn't died out. But all of a sudden, they just allowed it, but there's still some type of limit, I would say, to what the women can do, and even with going with that, It really is like that. I guess it's more of an egocentric aspect to where it's like it's the man's position to provide and
Mhm.
protect and everything else. And when they see that a woman is taking the place that men are doing,
Mhm.
it's a breach of a man's bravado, in my honest opinion. And sometimes um, men can feel like they are being challenged by the woman because the fact that they are what they believe stepping out of a woman's place. So,
Hmm.
um, but it's exactly as it's how she put it. It's pretty much that. So
Okay.
Mhm.
Lance, the comment you left, I would like you to elaborate on that. Pro most gender stereotypes, most. Because what? I'd like you to elaborate on that. So I read an article on monster.com addressing the whole gender gap. What they said that they have found is that we have not because we ask not. So, according to them, and this is for this period of time, this is not back in the day, because we're fully aware that back in the day it didn't matter what we asked for. Oh, we got another special guest. Hello. Um,
Sorry.
they said that it was more likely that a man will actually negotiate his pay versus a woman who will accept what
Mhm.
she is given.
hmm.
So, just to let you guys know, as a black woman myself, I negotiate.
Yeah, I know.
Uh, I negotiate with the best of them. Um, I'm very transparent on this show, so I'm gonna tell you like it is. I have not completed my degree as of yet. However, I do make more money than most of the people that I know that have a degree. Is it because I'm smarter or better than them? Not necessarily. I've learned the skill of marketing myself, and I have learned the skill of negotiation. And I'm a woman. We can do it too. You have something to say, Joshua. Go ahead.
I have a question though. From that
Yeah.
statement alone, does
Hmm.
that kind? I'm just asking. Isn't that a indirect way of saying women are ignorant?
Ooh.
I hmm. I feel like they are saying that they are ignorant to the fact that they have negotiating powers. So, kind of like, let's just say someone is getting a divorce, right?
Hmm.
And you are not properly advised as to what kind of things to ask for, or what kind of things should be in fine print.
Hmm.
The person that's fighting against you may be well educated and they
Mhm.
take everything down. And you're like, well, what just happened? Well, you weren't educated enough to know to fight for your rights, so to speak. So they are saying that women, generally speaking, statistically speaking, do not know what they can fight for, and so they don't. Is that your experience, Kay? I mean, I'm sure you have other female friends and yourself and everything. What do you think?
Um, See, this is one of those situations where I'm going to be honest. I typically don't have a lot of experience in. I've been in government for the last 6 going on 7 years. And with
Hmm.
the government, there is no negotiating your salary. This is what we're paying you based on your grade. That's it. That's all. Now, if you want to negotiate your butt in a higher position or different job, then sure. And I have definitely done that, advocated, filled out the paperwork and everything, sure.
Hmm.
Um, but before that, I didn't generally negotiate simply because at that point in time, I was a broke college student. I was just happy to have a job that was willing to pay me as much as they were offering. And I think that may go into why a number of women may not negotiate. They may look at it, well, it's better than the situation that I was in before. Let me just accept this now, work, prove my worth, and then negotiate later. I've seen that happen. They don't
Hmm.
necessarily negotiate going in the door. They go in, prove themselves, and then when the opportunity opens up, then they start advocating for why they should get it or why they should get that raise.
Okay. So I like to bring things full circle. Let me explain to you why the full title that I used, why I used it in that manner. I said battling with stereotypes, three sides to the story. And the reason is because I say it's, the side of the person that is the victim of the stereotype, the side of the person doing the whole stereotypical analysis, and then the truth. That is what I feel are the three sides to the story. So, I believe it's Valencia. Correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm saying it wrong, please forgive me.
It
She
looks
said,
like Valencia.
That's the correct way to say it.
okay, excellent. Said that she was less likely to negotiate in the past. Um, and her reasoning for it. So let's go ahead and look at the comment again. Um, Says, I'm always aware of the difficult Black woman stereotype, especially in a field around predominantly white peers. So that makes me wonder if what monster.com was saying is accurate. Were we less likely to make the same amount as men because we chose not to push because we were aware of the difficulties that we generally deal with because of stereotypes? What do you think, Joshua? What do you agree with that scenario? Or do you think it's something else going on?
Can you repeat that question, please?
Oh, sorry. Okay. So what I'm saying is maybe what they're saying with Monster.com when they were saying that women are paid less because we don't ask for more, we don't negotiate like men do. Maybe
Mm-hmm.
that it is accurate for the very reason that Valencia pointed out, because we choose not to ask for more or push the envelope because we're already aware of the stereotype that is upon us. Do you
Mm-hmm.
feel like that's what's going on, or do you
Mhm.
think something else is going on?
No, I believe that's what that is. I
Yeah.
believe that women already have a pre-made judgment
Mhm.
with certain things, and so they choose preemptively not to do certain things because they don't feel like they have the right to.
Okay. Do you agree with that scenario? Okay.
Most of it, the only part that I don't agree with is the whole we don't have a right to, because I believe that we feel we have a right to do it. We just hold off, or we choose not to negotiate or push for things because we know that the deck is stacked against us. There's a glass ceiling in corporate America, really a glass ceiling everywhere, even in government where I work. And we know how damaging it can be labeled the difficult one around the office, the
Mm-hmm.
troublemaker, the angry Black woman, the angry
Mm-hmm.
white woman, the whiny person, the manipulative person. And it's so easy to be labeled that, even if you've done nothing wrong. And usually it sticks and it follows you.
Mm-hmm.
Because despite what they say, people out here, CEOs, higher ups, they talk, they converse. And all it takes is one rumor, one, oh, well, she's pushy, she's a little difficult, to really change the trajectory of your career in a way that you do not like.
Mm-hmm.
So unless we feel comfortable, like we're in an environment to where we can push for things and we can negotiate to our fullest, most of us will generally tend to just kind of just ease back and not rock the boat. Maybe we'll try it again later.
Mm.
Hmm. And
Well, that,
it's yeah.
go ahead.
I mean, coming from okay, I'm gonna kind of go back on race here, but um, even going as a whole, when it comes to corporate, most of the time they look for silent and obedient consents when it comes
Mhm.
to their employees and stuff like that. But even more so when it comes to women.
Mm-hmm.
They look for women to really be quiet and passive individuals. You
And
know,
pretty. Don't forget
and
pretty.
pretty, and
Don't
pretty,
forget
and pretty.
Oh, yes.
And sometimes even as far as to say intuitive but stupid. How
Hmm.
I heard one guy say, he said
Yeah.
sometimes horses are like are dumb as nails, but very intuitive, no different than high school girls. They might not have a braid in their head, but they know that all men want to have sex with them. And it
Oh,
was, yeah, it was, I was like, well, you know, but at the end of the day, that's how a lot of men see women. You know, women who don't or who are not really intelligent or brilliant or bright and might be intuitive, but don't really have the spine to, or shouldn't have the spine to, I would say, contest the offers given to them.
Hmm. Interesting. So I guess I'm an anomaly.
You are an anomaly.
you are
Um,
definitely the exception. You are not the rule.
I fight for my rights. No, okay. So let's stay on the gender thing, but switch to relationships.
Oh hell.
Okay, no.
So
Oh, come on, man.
uh,
You got the wrong people in the comments section for
You
that.
were good. You were good at staying in corporate. You were good
no,
at staying in corporate.
There's
I'm
some
well
folks.
rounded. I'm well
There's some
rounded.
people
We
in
got
the comment section.
all.
I don't think you want that smoke.
I want all of it. Light the fire. So,
Oh Jesus. Mm.
so first of all, I will say I am married. Joshua is married, but I haven't been married a long time.
Oh crap!
I think
I'm a single
Joshua's been
black
married
woman on the
longer
show.
than
Got
I have. So yes, I was in the dating scene a few years back, and I did an experiment. And the experiment, I went on the online dating because I wanted to see what were these guys trying to do, right? What they looking for, what kind of game were they gonna spit and stuff like that. So I place specific types of pictures in my profile. So let me explain. These pictures were pictures I took in a photo shoot. They were not touched up. They were the original photos, but they were photos from a photo shoot. And I had them on there. And at the bottom, I explained what it is that I was looking for. What I recognized right off the bat is when nobody reading it. They looked at the
read.
pictures.
You expected them to
Right.
read? Oh, the audacity.
Interesting. Um, they looked at the pictures and then somebody this is gonna look what Josh would say, I know, right? uh, they looked at the pictures, they reached out to me, hey Shawty, what you doing tonight? I'm like, why are we leading with that? Why are we leading with that? So what I'm thinking is there's some kind of stereotype going on here, men versus women, that causes them, yeah, I know, that causes a lot of them to approach us in a way that they think she gonna like this, she gonna like this, or I got them Benjamins, baby. I can take you anywhere. I can do whatever you want me to do. I can take you there, baby. I'm like, I can
Mm.
take myself.
Okay.
My profile. So, what do you have to say about that, Joshua?
You can't really blame us for that, for one. Okay. And here's
We told
why. Here's why. You can backtrack quite a few years from now.
okay.
Even from a biblical standpoint, how a woman looks is a profound aspect when a guy picks a woman. Am I right? From a scripture aspect and back in the day. Okay. Now,
Okay.
we already established that men already had the belief, has this belief and this mindset that they are the alpha providers when it comes to a union. Am I right?
Okay.
Okay.
Biblically
More so
speaking.
than not, they're saying they want to pay for the bills, pay for the blase sway, right? Okay.
Okay.
That's just their mindset. They don't see a woman of equal power. They typically don't, because for one, here's one thing they don't want to deal with. They don't want to deal with a woman trying to take their crown or trying to usurp their authority because they feel she has the right to. They don't want to deal with that in their own home. Okay, so they usually step away from women of power because they have that fear of their crown being taken from her because of the right to take away their power. Okay. Um it's they don't know how to coexist as a power couple when it comes to that aspect. Some don't, some do. We have parents right now that are power couples that they both hold up. They both work, they both do whatever they do. They share power together, but it's very rare that you see that. And a lot of times when couples have tried that route to where they would share power and coexist in that manner, they would bump heads and then they would separate eventually. You know, it's because, not necessarily because of the fault of the woman, but because men are not used to women of that caliber. They're used to women being submissive and allowing the man to do the work while the women just stay at home looking pretty. That's pretty much what they're used to. And Kumara Doll is right. It's the difference between a man and a boy. Men do understand. I would say real men understands the potential of what women can be. I look at it from this perspective. Women back in the day were queens, which means queens can hold authority. So you can't say that women can't. They can utilize authority in a fair manner. Otherwise, they would never be a queen. You know, so I personally believe that it can work, and we're actually doing that now in our marriage. But at the same time, because of that bravado aspect that men have, it you they don't look for women in that way. They only see it from a general aspect, which is the beauty and I'll take care of you, be mine type of deal. I'm I don't want to say this word, but ultimately that's what that is. But men see women as property.
Oh, yeah, of course
So
they
the
do.
stereotype is real. What Joshua
Of course
is
they
saying.
do. Of course they do. Of course.
Please expound, okay?
I mean,
Okay.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. So while I agree with a lot of what Joshua is saying, to take it back to the original question of why men will look at a woman or a certain woman and think that they can just approach her any type of way, I don't think it's really that complex. I think they do it because it worked in the past. And if it's broke, why fix it? If you know that if you talk to 10 women with the exact same line and at least 3 of them are going to give you their phone number, and out of those 3, one of them is going to give you the panties, why are you changing up your script? 3 out of 10 batting average get some people to the Baseball Hall of Fame.
So
I think it's just that simple.
Maybe it's more so about recognizing what league you're dealing with, huh?
It could be.
True.
It
True.
could be. It very well could be, because there are times in which, a guy will approach a woman thinking that the whole, hey, little mama blase, skippy, let me go ahead and get you this, I can fly you out, to a woman. And then when she laughs at him because that doesn't appeal to her, or she simply says, sir, get out of my face, they get upset, they get mad, they want to disrespect. And it's like, well, sir, you didn't realize you up here trying like, oh, you in the majors, you still in the D League. So you need to shoot at the people in the D League and leave these folks in the majors alone.
True.
A predator knows his prey. What a way to put it. Go ahead,
And she's
Joshua.
right.
Now I have a question. I have a question for you, Asia Jamal Rogers. Sorry. Since you challenged me with that as a man, I'm gonna challenge you as a woman.
Yes.
Since men fail to acknowledge your caliber type of, at that time they fell to acknowledge your character, and they just looked at the obvious, the surfacial aspect.
Mhm.
Why is it that women choose to have men that will have money, the superficial aspect, neglecting, however, the character of a provider? So they'll choose somebody with money, but they will neglect the character. So, because take it from me, a lot of the time, all the women I came across, I didn't have money to show them. But if you ask any person I married, which was two, were they ever struggling, they will all say no. They will all
Mm.
say
Okay.
no. They all lived in, they were all provided for. So
I have
I
a
ask
theory for
again, I ask again, why do women pick the fruit of someone providing, but not the character?
that. That's a good question. I have a
Okay.
theory for that.
So
I have a theory for
so
that.
I feel like it's a bit of a loaded question, and let me explain. Like I was saying, you kind of have to recognize what league you're in, right?
Mhm.
So, dealing with stereotypes, there is a stereotype of a certain type of woman that cares not about your character, but cares everything about your wallet. She don't care about
Mhm.
how old you are. She don't care about your background. She doesn't even necessarily care about how you're getting your money. It's just that you got it.
Mhm.
That's a certain type of woman. Now you asked me, who is not that. I am the direct because I've gotten so used to taking care of my own. I go beast mode on my career. You understand?
Mhm.
Mhm.
So when a man comes to me and says, I got dollars, I want to know what else you got.
Mhm.
Tell me how you can handle my mind. Tell me what your beliefs are. Tell
Mhm.
me how you feel about family. Tell me about your education. Tell me about your views. I want to know all these things because your dollars don't matter to me because when you're in or out of the picture, I still take care of mine.
But my question is, why is dollars even a factor? Because
So
see,
what
dollars.
I feel like I just addressed that. So okay, so the dollars part, and I'm gonna let Kay answer as soon as I'm done. The
Mhm.
dollars part, the matter is a type of female that likes to live off of that. You
Mhm.
understand? She's not the Asia. She's not the she's not
You're
the
right.
Kay, not the Jennifer's. All the people you know. She's not
Mhm.
those women. She's not the Michelle Obamas.
Mhm.
Okay, she is not that woman. She
Mhm.
is. I want that purse, and if you can't afford that purse, we cannot talk. Are you
Mhm.
paying my rent? Because if you can't pay my rent, we cannot talk. Can you get me those red bottoms? Because if you can't get me those red bottoms, we cannot talk. But I'm the one that's saying I'm gonna get mine, whether you're here or not. So I need you to offer more than that.
Mhm.
Get on my level. Go ahead, Kay.
I think another aspect, which ties into what you were saying, is the difference between being raised on love and being raised on survival. For some
Hmm.
women who are raised on love, they may not necessarily care about how much money the guy makes. It still may play a factor, but it's not. It doesn't take precedence, because they've been raised in an environment where there's love. They know that this person will take care of me. I may necessarily be rich, but I'll be okay. If you have a person that was raised on survival and has operated in their adult life based on that same mantra,
Hmm.
it's going to be a little bit different. They're going to look at it and say, okay, well, I need to make sure I'm good. I'm taken care of no matter what. So if I have to date with this scamming dude over here that I know is always going to lace me out and is always going to have me in a fly crib, always going to have me in this nice car, that's what I'm going to do. If I have to marry this man that is old enough to be my grandfather, but who's loaded to make sure that I'm taken care of, that's what I'm going to do. There are some women that are raised on the aspect of I have to make sure that I am okay no matter what. I don't care if the man loves me. Can he take care of me and give me the things that I want? Not necessarily need, what I want.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's just as simple as that. Love versus survival. Which one were you raised on? Which one is more important to you?
I was about to say that. Could it be because a woman never came out of survival mode? But yeah. Yeah.
That's interesting. So that kind of takes it out of the stereotype, because the stereotype for that woman that chases them dollars are greedy women. But you gave the perspective of a woman of survival.
But
That's
that's
kind
a
of a different
stereotype.
mindset.
Yeah, but even though that's a
It's a
type of
different
woman of
that kind of
survival,
breaks
but
the stereotype into two different.
we broke it down to a different thing. But I'm saying it's a general circumference that's what women look for. I mean, I come across that quite often when it came to guys. When I asked them how come they didn't want to be with a woman or how come they wouldn't take the time, one of the arguments that they came across to me with was that women always look for money um and there are other things I'm not going to talk about right now, but one of them was that money was a factor, was a huge factor, and they didn't want to deal with that, and when it came to relationships, and but there's been quite a few things they said that were again stereotypical when it came to concluding that a woman for them is not adequate.
Okay, I'm sorry. These people in the comments make me laugh.
I know.
Every time I'm on
um,
here.
I'm telling you. Um, uh, I'm about to close out the show, but I want to get these last minute comments in. There are
That's
plenty of guys
true.
that
That's
are only
really
women
true. That's true.
because
That is very, very
That's
true.
true.
And that goes right back to the whole love versus survival thing.
Hmm.
Mhm.
That's true. And
Interesting.
and but there is a stereotype with outside of survival with that as well.
Which is what?
Guys sometimes pick older women because they perceive that the older woman has better character. And younger women are
Hmm.
shallow. I'll put it that way. They are not
That goes
mature
both
enough to.
Never heard that
That's
before.
on both sides
Yeah,
of the coin.
yeah.
I've actually never heard that particular stereotype before.
But
What I've
I'm just
heard,
saying that's why they picked older women. Because I've asked them, I said, why would you pick an
oh,
older woman? And he said, because older women have better character. Younger women don't. That's
I
literally what they said.
I heard that older women have money, are more desperate for a man and willing to spend the money on you, and your girls are broke. I've
Yeah,
heard that.
yeah. But I've heard that one too. But I've also
I've
heard
heard
that
both.
older
I've
women
heard
had,
both.
yeah.
But I will say that what you said, Josh, I hear that more so in regards to women and men versus men looking for women.
Yeah.
I
So
have to. I have to.
as far as I'm concerned, I don't do younger men. I
Mhm.
tried it once and it was like, what was I thinking?
I
I was
mean,
like, oh, Lord.
the funny thing is, even though because I came across younger girls and women told me that I could only deal with an older woman, and little did they know, I'm like, you didn't meet my ex-wife, because she was older than me, and that people couldn't tell because of her character. They thought I
Mm.
was the older one, you know.
Wow.
And she's last time I think she's like what 1 year older than my sister, which she's 2 years older than me, so she would be 3 years older than me. And they couldn't even tell that she was older than me because of her character. They actually thought she was younger than me. Um,
That's not a good thing.
and and that at first I almost believed them that okay, maybe older woman is my forte. And then when I got married to that woman, I was like, nope, that's not it. Mm-mm. No, that's age is not a factor. Age is not the factor at all. You know,
Oh, goodness.
so
All right. Okay. So we have gone over time, and we're allowed to do that from time to time. But clearly, this was a topic that people had a lot of opinions on.
Yeah.
I told you what was gonna happen. I told you what was gonna happen.
I know you warned me. You warned me. So, those of you that are on Facebook, feel free to follow me. I have the show every Friday night at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Always having interesting conversations like these. You could also go to my website, as I put there, hjamal.com. Through there, you can also find my YouTube page. Please subscribe, please, and thank you. You will also see my Asia Speaks blog. I speak on the topics that we discuss. I also have resources on my site. So, there it is. There's the information. Come see me. And I will see you all next week at the same time, Friday, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. And thank you so much, Kay, Alexis, and Joshua Jamal, for this conversation. You guys are awesome. Thank you.
Yay!
I appreciate you.
Isabel says hi.
And hi, Isabel. And everybody, remember to embrace God's perfect design, which is you. Okay? Can't nobody be you but you. And God did it right. He didn't make no mistakes,
That's right.
baby.
That's right.
If not for
All
you, then
right.
if you're not you, then who are you?
Say
That's what
bye,
I'm saying.
Isabel.
Mhm.
Bye. Good night,
Bye,
everybody.
Isabel.